Hi guys, Yarma again, time for another knife review. And today I'm going to review my new beloved Kabar. Had another one before it, wore it out so much I decided to get another one. That's how much I love the knife. Not that there's anything wrong with the other one, but I don't even know if I'm going to use this one, I just like it so much. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into it. I've talked about this knife a lot before, so it's no surprise that I'm going to do a review of it. This is obviously the blade, but the blade comes next. First we'll review the sheath, that I usually do. I really do like this sheath. It's a very, very rigid, strong sheath. Has nylon on the front, sewn all the way through, thick leather pad on the back. Probably about, it's more than 1/8 of an inch for sure, but it's not too much more than that. But it's got a nice thick leather pad on the back to keep it rigid. Rivets all the way through, like I said, sewn. 3 rivets to attach the handle, the belt strap, which is attached with a D-ring. Don't quite know why they did that, but it doesn't really bother me, mainly because it has this leg strap. You can imagine if it didn't have a leg strap, this would be swinging while it was on your leg as you walked. It would just swing around. But as I've said before in my knife reviews, I personally think every survival knife needs a leg strap, especially if it's long, and you got a 9-inch blade here. So the leg strap is huge for me. And it's a plastic leg strap, and I believe it runs into the padding itself. This also helps keep it rigid. But yeah, and it has these 2 straps on top. Some people, I don't know if that was in frame, these 2 straps over here. Some people don't like them because they usually get it like this, which means both clasps, the closing part of the clasps, are on top. I personally flip them one of them around like this, so they're opposing, so I can use my hand and just put in the opposite direction. They both open up at the same time. Keep it like this. When I close it, it'll be here. Flip my fingers across both of them and they'll just open up. And I really do like that. The blade is really secure in there, because without these it'll just fall out. It's just a simple slot. Really rigid slot, like I said, but just a simple slot. And it holds to the belt well. I don't personally like leather. I'm not going to lie. It holds water. It can get frozen. I live in California, so it's not likely to get frozen, which is why I didn't care the fact that it's leather. I'm just saying I don't like leather very much. But you have to choose for your environment. You can buy a new sheath. You can buy a Kitech sheath for this knife for about $10. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, in terms of that, I really like this sheath. I will say, Kabar, if you do ever watch this video, I doubt you will, but if you do, please put a pouch on the front of this sheath for survival goodies. I think you have such a big sheath frame that you could fit a little pouch on this no problem and not mess with the structural integrity of the sheath whatsoever. So that would be my only improvement other than the leather, but like I said, I live in California, so it's very unlikely for something to get frozen over here. Sheath, good in my opinion. Now we move on to the knife. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Kabar Heavy Bowie. It is a 9-inch blade, 14 and some odd inches overall. And I want to say and specify that this knife is the sharpest knife I have ever received in my life out of a box. This knife is incredibly sharp. I want to show you guys something. I wonder if you guys can see it. That's actually on the wrong side. It's more over here. And maybe you could see the fact that I have a little patch over here of nothing, whereas I got some hair on my arms over here, but I got nothing over here. Probably can't see that. Anyway, I decided I wanted to see how sharp this knife is. I took it out of the box and I ran it against my arm, and my arm was smoother than my girlfriend's legs. And she is not furry. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, this knife is literally razor sharp out of the box. I cannot explain to you how sharp this knife is. It was well oiled, so yeah, I didn't have any worries with it. I took it out just to test it out, chopped down some tree limbs. Obviously it performed to expectation, maybe even above, but then again I have a very high expectation of this knife, so performed right on. This handle is incredibly comfortable, incredibly comfortable. I have no fear of my hand going out the back. I have no fear of my hand passing up the front. It doesn't have a guard, but that's fine because I pound on this knife in both directions when I'm batoning. I baton on the back and the front. So if you could imagine how to guard, it would be very awkward to pound on this. It has a very comfortable knife. It has a flare, as you can see, in the front of the handle, so your hand doesn't slide up. And it has a really nice hook on the back for your hand not to slide out. and they give you this hole over here for a lanyard, which naturally I'm going to use because they offer it to me. But it's very, and I mean, one more thing. I know I'm like getting a little fidgety here, but you have to understand, I love this knife. This is my favorite knife. I really like the thickness of the blade. It's almost a 1/4 inch. I believe they say 2.236 of an inch, which is very thick. I think it's, I don't remember. Almost a 1/4 inch. Almost a 1/4 inch. It's 1085 steel. They vary. They have some that were 1085. They have some 1080. You gotta just find one that you like. I got one in 1085, and holds a razor's edge. It's obviously got the black epoxy to resist rust. Look at that shape. When I was talking to a buddy of mine about this knife, and he was like, "What knife did you buy?" I told him I bought another Kabar. I was like, "Right, the Rambo knife." Look at that. That just makes you think Rambo. It's got the semi-edge on the top, which you can sharpen. I won't. I never sharpen the top edge. I like having it dot. I like to be able to push with it or something like that. I like to be able to baton with it and not chop my baton off. So yeah, this knife is razor sharp, very good edge, very affordable. I bought this knife for 50 bucks. And I loved it so much I bought another one. So I will never not recommend this knife. If I'm ever going to recommend a knife, it's this one. So if any of you appreciate the videos I make, buy this knife. And I have no affiliation with Kabar at all. I'm just a small-time dude who likes knives and guns, so I do reviews of them. I keep putting this knife on the frame. I love this knife, and I'm telling you guys that I think it's a great knife. Some people have had problems with them. I remember I saw a video where this guy was comparing it to an RTAC 2, which is a little bit longer knife than this, and he was saying his broke. You know what? Maybe yours did, but if you watch Nothing Fancy's video, he talks about someone who had an RTAC break. So you know what? If there's, out of the factory, a problem with the knife, they give you a warranty on it. If you gently hit a piece of wood and it happens to break for a reason that wasn't your fault, you tell the factory, they give you a new one. And obviously, you don't expect them to break, but it happens. That's why companies that support their products give warranties. Kabar supports its products. So don't buy this in fear that, oh my god, it's going to just break right out of the box. No, that doesn't happen. They have some that have stress fractures in them and that just aren't made to specifications, that slip through the filters, and yeah, they break. This knife is great. I love it. I don't expect it to break. If it does, it happens. Handles very comfortable. Very, I want to specify that I hate knives that have uncomfortable handles. I'm going to do a review of one of my machetes soon, which I love the machete. It's a great blade, but it's a very uncomfortable handle. This is not an uncomfortable handle. It's very comfortable. Like I said, the blade is razor sharp. Razor sharp. Look at this. I wonder if you guys can see how fine I'm cutting this stuff here. It's super sharp. I can't even put it in perspective to you how sharp this knife is. And this is out of the box. I have not touched this knife. In fact, I don't even think I will, because this knife is sharper than I can sharpen it with my sharpeners. I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah, I love this knife. And I will recommend it to anyone and everyone for the price that it comes at, 50 bucks. Super. It amazes me how smoothly that goes through. I can't imagine hitting someone with this. I can't imagine slashing someone with this knife, or something. Obviously not. I hope I never have to slash someone, but something. I have to, I don't know, cut an animal into pieces. I feel like I can do anything with this knife. I love it that much. I feel so confident with it. So yeah, the knife is great. It's an excellent knife. Excellent, excellent knife. For any of you who are thinking to get a good survival knife, a good, long, heavy survival knife. This is about a pound, I believe. It's about 15 something ounces. So it's a good, but it's super balanced. It's not a very front heavy knife, but I mean, the blade balances right where the tang and right where the blade and handle meet. It's bouncing on my finger. I don't want to stab my wood. Yeah, it's bouncing right there. So it's a very balanced hand when you blade. When you feel it, you can move very quickly with it. It has no issues whatsoever. Anyway, guys, just thought I'd let you know that I love this knife. It's my favorite knife that I own. And if you guys take my word for anything, it's that this knife is worth buying. And if you're thinking of getting a knife, or you already have one and you think about getting another one, I love it. Buy it. You'll enjoy it. Take care, guys. Armand out. I'm going to have another gun review coming up soon, so you guys should watch that. Toodles.